Topic number one here of the conversation, folks, on the show. And there are three things that we see that lets us know as people that college football is around the corner, college football is near, college football on its way. And the three things that we take notice of: number one, the preseason award watch list. Of course, all of those that have come out at this point, and quite a few University of Alabama student athletes on those lists. And behind that, of course, the SEC released the preseason schedule for 2020. That includes fall camp, and fall camp for the conference will start on August 17th. Looking forward to seeing Nick Saban, the student athletes here for the Crimson Tide, the entire coaching staff getting back to work. So that's the number two thing that we take notice of: fall camp, August 17th. But then the third thing, those top 25 preseason rankings. Those top 25 preseason rankings. Now, I know the coaches and the players, they don't care much about that, but myself and the media, you guys as the Alabama football fans, you look into, you discuss, you have a debate, you have a conversation when you look at these preseason rankings here. And the first of many of these, or a few of these, came out on Thursday as the McFarland Coaches Poll, which is powered by USA Today Sports. The McFarland Coaches Poll dropped its top 25 preseason rankings. Alabama fell at number 3, behind Ohio State at number 2 and Clemson at number 1. The Crimson Tide will take on 4 teams in the top 25. 4 teams here. Could have been 5 if Florida would have been scheduled, but hey, it'll take on 4 teams in the top 25 here. So Georgia at number 4, LSU at number 5, Auburn at number 11, and Texas A&M at number 13. So 40% of Alabama's schedule still in the top 25 preseason-wise. Still a good-looking schedule. And this is what Nick Saban wanted. This is exactly what Nick Saban wanted. He wanted more competition. He wanted more challenging games. He wanted more compelling matchups. He wants to see how does his team stack up for real, with the rest of the SEC. And of course, his peers in the conference talked about, this is too tough. We don't like this. This shouldn't happen. This should not be going on. Let's not do this. But Commissioner Greg Sankey and the conference sided with Nick Saban. Coach Saban wanted all the smoke. He wanted all the heat. He wanted all the cards stacked up against him. He wanted that pressure. And the SEC said, okay, Coach Saban, you want that pressure? We're going to give you exactly what you want. So Coach Saban got what he wanted, got what he asked for, got his wish. Now it's his job to navigate the schedule, to work through the schedule, and to have these players prepared. It's kind of like going back to the great The Last Dance documentary of the Michael Jordan-led Chicago Bulls. And I remember how Jordan talked about in the documentary where when Doug Johnson was to coach the Bulls, one of the things he loved about Johnson was, in practice, he liked to up the ante in the practice and the scrimmages. He wanted to stack the competition against Jordan and see how would MJ respond, how would MJ up his level of play, how would how would Jordan step his game up. And Jordan prided himself, he thrived on, if the deck is stacked against me, if the chips are stacked against me, if the competition is stacked against me, I'm going to show you that I rise to the top. I thrive. I shine. I am dominant in these types of moments. And when you have schedules like this where Alabama's looking at with a conference-only schedule, we're in a situation where the 4 teams that get into the college football playoff, the 4 best teams that get in, they earn their way in. They push their way in. There's no gimmies. There's no easy games. There's no, soft matchups. Every game is going to be a test factor. And, for Coach Saban, he feels like, Alabama, we're the cream of the country. We're the cream of the nation. We feel like if we test ourselves with having 4 teams in the top 25, we should be able to navigate this thing and get to the college football playoff. And it goes back to, a song lyric. One of my favorite bands growing up was Daughtry. Chris Daughtry. He did not win American Idol, but Daughtry was one of my favorite bands growing up. And off their self-titled album, Daughtry, one of the songs off the album was Home. And a verse from the song was, you just might get, be careful what you wish. There you go. Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it all, and then some you don't want. Gotta go tongue-tied there. So that verse was, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it all, and then some you don't want. So Coach Saban, he wanted a tougher schedule. He wanted a compelling schedule. He wanted a marquee schedule. He wanted to challenge himself. He wanted to challenge this team, and he's got that challenge here, playing 4 teams within the top 25. But there's a lot of motivation here, for Coach Saban and having this schedule and having this season. And just looking at Coach Saban first and foremost, the chatter that's been going on for some people, or quite a few people in national media, is, Saban's done. He can't do it anymore. He can't win championships anymore. The young men are not vibing with him the way they once did, or the way they're used to. There's so many other big-time coaches in college football. Dabo Swinney's big now. Kirby Smart's big now. Ed Ogeron, he's just coming off a national championship. He's big now. Lincoln Riley's big now. There are other coaches in college football, in this sport, that are big now, and Coach Saban, he just doesn't have the motivation. He just doesn't have the killer instinct. He just doesn't have that knockout mentality. He just doesn't have it anymore as a coach, as a recruiter. It's just not there anymore for Coach Saban. This is all kind of the statements coming from national media. The window has closed. The opportunity has closed. The door has locked shut. It's not going to be easy for Coach Saban. It's not going to be beneficial, profitable now for Coach Saban to be able to win national championships. So motivation for Coach Saban is showing everybody in the game, I'm still the best guy on the block. I'm still the hardest working man out there. I am still the creme de la creme. When the name Nick Saban is spoken, it's still met with, that is the guy. That is the head honcho. That is the numero uno in college football. So Saban's got that motivation for himself, but not just that. You look at the assistant coaches on staff. They see what Nick Saban sees right now. They see he is gunning full-fledged toward that 7th national title to put him above one Paul W. Bear Bryant. And not only do the coaching staff, does the staff see it, they want to go after it with him. After seeing what happened the last 2 years, coming up short in the title game to Clemson in 2018, we're getting embarrassed by Clemson in the 2019 title game off the 18 season, and then last year, the 2019 season, not competing for an SEC championship, not making the college football playoff. This coaching staff, it is hungry, much like Saban is, to get back to that stage, to get back to that plateau, and truly finish the job here. So this is motivation for the coaching staff, and the coaching staff that stayed together. When you look at Steve Sarkisian, he got the extension, sticking around here for another 3 years. You got the continuity on defense with Pete Golding back here, with Sal Sunseri back, with Charles Kelly back, with Carl Scott back. You bring in a Freddie Roach, of which this will be his first time back coaching for the Crimson Tide, but he was here once before with the program. He played with the program. So the overall continuity, in years past, Alabama would lose 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 guys off the coaching staff at a time. Off this past year's staff, the Tide lost 1 coach, and that was Brian Baker. He's now in the NFL with the Indianapolis Colts. So the coaching staff motivated here. We look at the players are very much so motivated, just due to the last 2 years. Once again, they saw firsthand, when we do not cooperate, when we do not listen to these coaches, when we do not take what they say into serious consideration, we are not a dominant football team. We lose football games. We're not where we want to be, not what we want to be. And the fact that you had Dylan Moses, Joshua McMillan, Alex Leatherwood, Landon Dickerson, Devontae Smith, Najee Harris. All of these guys could have went pro. All of these guys could have been multi-million-dollar players. All of these guys could have been instant first-round picks, but they said, no, we want to be remembered for getting this team to a national championship. It's about what have you done for me lately, and lately in terms of this upcoming season, they want to get this team to a national championship, win it, and finish the job. So the players are highly motivated, and of course, the energy that David Ballou and Matt Ray have brought in here as the new sports performance team. You talk to players, you talk to freshmen, you talk to veteran guys. They love what Ballou and Ray have brought in here as that energy, as that essence to get Bama back to the mountaintop and being respected here in college football. But Alabama ranked at number 3 here in the preseason practice poll, coming from the Amway coaches poll via USA Today. So this is awesome for the Crimson Tide. They got a lot of motivation. They got a lot of motivation here. Really excited here to see what the Tide has in store for the upcoming season. But I want to shout out Spencer Revley here, one of our faithful listeners. Spencer Revley donating that $5 into the super chest at $5 here. Also, he wants to see some real good special teams. Spencer Revley wanting to see some real good special teams. I want to see that as well, Spencer, myself. But we go to our first break here on the show. Don't touch that dial, just getting started. Upon our return, we get into your thoughts, your tweets, your questions, your phone calls, your chats, your concerns right after this.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care in support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $5.95 per month or pay $49.95 for a full year subscription. That's a saving of almost $22. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
Thank you for watching Touchdown Alabama Magazine's YouTube channel. To continue to get the best in Alabama football content, subscribe here and turn on your notifications to stay connected with the hottest shows covering your Crimson Tide.